If you're looking to increase the traffic coming to your blog, I'm sure you're looking at bumping up organic traffic. And the one sure way of doing it is good SEO. Now, wait for a second. A lot of people think that SEO is the thing you do before you publish the post. I would beg to differ. I think it starts way before. It starts right from the point where you get the idea of the post and how you can optimize it. Today, I'm going to share all the tips that I've learned over the years. Let's begin. So what is SEO? Simply put, it's search engine optimization. It is how search engines look at your blog post, how they understand or interpret your blog post. And once they do it well, they are more likely to suggest it to the right people that are looking for it. So how do you improve the SEO for your blog post? Like I said, it starts from the idea itself. The first thing you need to do is check what exactly people are searching for. So this is done with the help of keyword research. So keyword research is where you figure out what exactly are people searching for. You can do this by using keyword research tools that are available. SEMrush, for example, has one. There are multiple others available as well. You can also use the autocomplete feature on Google itself, which will give you a rough idea of what people are searching for. Say, for example, if you are searching for a particular smartphone, for example, let's take the Samsung Galaxy S24. So when you search for Samsung Galaxy S24, you'll also see in the autofill that there are different keywords that people are searching for. It can be specifications, it can be software, it can be price. So these are the keywords that people are actively searching for. And if you produce content related to these keywords, you're more likely to get traffic. Now, this tip does not stop here. Once you've hit, say, search for the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra price, you will also come across the people also ask section. So this covers more details on what people are generally asking related to this keyword. In the people also ask section, there are different questions on which country it's made in, when was it released, what's the price of it in Dubai, does it have AI? So these are all related questions that people search for. So this gives you a good idea of all the related keywords that people are searching for. And if you target these keywords in your blog post, the chances of you ranking for multiple keyword variations is a lot higher, which will increase the visibility of your blog post on Google and naturally will be able to drive more traffic to your website. Now that I've covered what people are searching for, let's look at how are they going to process this information. So with the how, I want you to ask, what are people going to do with this information? How are they going to use this information? What is their intent? Is the intent to have better information about the product? Is it a more transactional kind of an intent? So once you know the intent, you will be able to address other related queries better. So say, for example, when I'm looking for the Galaxy S24 Ultra price, the chances are that these people are looking at primarily with the lens of purchase or information as well. So when I look at people who are looking at information perspective, I'm going to add more details about the product, such as your specifications, dimensions, weight, battery life, etc. So that someone who's looking for the price alone will also want to know other aspects of it. And when it comes to the purchase intent, I think a lot of people would want to know about how the device is, how it performs, how's the processor, how's the camera, how's the battery life. So all of these would come in that intent. So based on what kind of users are you targeting or what niche you're in, you will be able to take a judgment on what purpose your article serves. And that way you should be able to answer the question, how would your audience process this information? Once you also understand the intent, you will be able to match the kind of blog post you're doing with the intent. For example, if you are looking at a keyword that is primarily around the Galaxy S24 Ultra's battery, so you can do a more in-depth review of it and have a review post on it. If your audience is looking at to compare multiple prices of Samsung smartphones, you can do a listicle on top alternatives to the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. Similarly, if people would want to know about the competition as well, it can be either an opinion piece or a comparison article. So knowing what your audience is searching for is very, very important. At the same time, what expertise your team and you bring to the table needs to go hand in hand. Because my next point is all about EEAT. So EEAT stands for expertise, experience, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. Now these are the 4 parameters that Google evaluates when your link is displayed in Google search. So for example, what it looks for is that the website that is creating this content is in the same niche as the content itself. Now, you won't trust a recipe blog on a sports website, will you? See? So it does not build trust. So if your website is about consumer electronics and you're writing about a new smartphone, it builds trust. Google does know that, hey, this is the niche that you work with, and your audience is more likely to engage better, and hence it recommends and sends traffic your way. Authoritativeness comes from the author, and it really depends on how long the author has been covering this beat. Now, in news, it's important for an author, say for example, if you're covering political news, an author who's covered political news for a really long time will be given higher weightage. Similarly, when it comes to consumer electronics, an author who's been a reviewer for a couple of years definitely gets more authority there. The same thing goes with experience as well. The more experience the author has or the publication has in a particular domain really helps with SEO. And with this point, you will notice that it does not have to do with keywords optimizing, no matter what amount of keyword research you do, if your niche is not matching with a trending keyword, you're not going to get traffic to it. So EEAT is very, very important, and this is something you should keep in mind. Now, the fourth point is something I cannot stress enough. Create good quality content. Now, once Google sends traffic your way, the only thing that can keep the traffic on your website is good content. And for this, here are a few tips that I'll give you. 1, create in-depth articles. Most blogs that are looking to game SEO and looking to gain traffic will not do a very good job at it. They're going to optimize it for search engines, not for the audience. And this is the biggest mistake that I see people doing. And they will see short-term spikes, but in the long run, it's not going to help you. Good quality content will also go on to become evergreen content, which means that it will serve you traffic for its lifetime. Till you go ahead and change it, it's going to keep serving you traffic. And that is very important. When it comes to subject matter, going in depth, covering all different aspects of a particular product or a particular service that you're reviewing, or even for example, if you're a sports website that's covering a match, the more intricate details that you bring out is what will keep your audience coming in, and that will also send a good signal to the search engines, knowing that these keywords are dealt with very well by these websites, and as a result it will boost your SEO. The next point would be on-page SEO, and this is where the SEO that's closer to the blog post comes in. So once you have written a blog post that covers all of the other pointers that I've mentioned before with on-page SEO, this is how you can ensure that good traffic comes in and content that's relevant to the people searching in convert better. For example, for this, you would need to include keywords that your target audience is searching for, needs to be in title tags. This gives a signal to the search engines as well, letting them know that this content is around this particular keyword. Your meta descriptions need to be super descriptive, because your meta description is also displayed in search engine in the SERP page. So as a result, your meta description acts as a hook to bring the audience from the SERP to your website. Now, it's a good practice to include your target keyword. Your target keyword needs to be in the H1 tag, and all the other keywords that are related to it, you can put them in H2 and H3 tags. This way, it is a good signal to the search engines, but also when you look at it from a reader perspective, it gives them highlights of what they would want to read about. So going back to my example of the Galaxy S24 Ultra smartphone, I would put the Galaxy S24 review as the H1 if I was a review website covering consumer electronic reviews, whereas my H2s and H3s would primarily be around Galaxy S24 Ultra specifications, Galaxy S24 Ultra price, and probably camera and hardware tests. So that way, it's a good reference for search engines to know these keywords are covered in this blog post. At the same time, visually for the reader, it's easy for them to gather the information from the article itself. And this leads to a very good user experience, something that Google values very highly. Now, when it comes to on-page SEO, internal links are heavily underrated. A lot of bloggers tend to forget to internally link. Now, internal linking, think about it as passing on information in the most efficient way possible. Now, it has two benefits. A lot of it primarily people associate with SEO, saying that if you have popular pages, you will be able to pass on some SEO juice to the page. But I would like to think of it from a user perspective. So when you're linking internally, it guides your readers to read other articles that are related. So for example, if I am covering a review of the Galaxy S24 Ultra smartphone. Now bear with me, it's a field that comes naturally to me, so the examples are also related to them. So for example, if I were to cover a review of this particular smartphone, I can add the review of its predecessor, the S23 Ultra. So that way it helps the users notice what amount of difference is there in the previous flagship and the current one, if it's worth the money that they're going to pay extra, or simply to track the amount of innovation that has happened between two flagship models. At the same time, if there is another device in the same price range that performs well, a link to the other review is also helpful for these consumers to make an informed choice. And this makes a huge difference, primarily because you're not just informing them about one device, you're informing them about multiple other in the same field or the same category. And this also helps you build authority. Your users will relate, will value your opinion more, and are more likely to nurture and eventually become your direct traffic. And direct traffic is the most valuable source of traffic that's there, because those are pretty much your audience. Moving on. Now, while I have covered about keywords, SEO, good quality content, another crucial point is to make your content very easy to consume. So for example, if you're doing a post-football match analysis, for example, instead of simply having a wall of text, it would be a great idea to break them down into different parameters. You can have, say, a before halftime, after halftime. You can have a different section for goals, which would highlight what player scored which goal at what time point. I've seen that photos and videos work brilliantly when it comes to improving the time on site. And time on site is a very, very crucial metric which Google notices when it ranks different websites in the SERP. So content that is well laid out, easy to read, easy to understand is something that is highly valued by readers, and Google also puts higher weightage to these points. Ensure that you're also distributing this article widely. For example, if you're present on different social media platforms, it's essential to put in effort in distributing your article. This also helps boost the SEO for your blog post. So you need to put in that effort to spread the word on Twitter or X, if you may, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram as well. And this also helps determine what kind of traffic comes in. At the same time, your followers might not be very, very active or might not be visiting your website often. It's also a great way to draw traffic from social media. So these are some of the pointers with respect to blog SEO that I've covered. There are a few technical pointers as well that I would like to cover. If you'd want a video, put that in the comment and make it happen.